Morning, everyone. Saying that the sun is shining. Hey, what a pleasure. Just give a couple more minutes as usual, guys. Cool. Definitely try that, Ken. Ah. How's it, Fiona? I acknowledge. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's coming up to past, and we can get the old story going. Something else coming in there. It'll be sent out to you guys. I'll just mute you all. I think some background noise there. Don't forget, as always, you can Ken, you know the score. Just say you're muted, Roger. Unmute immediately. I will do so immediately. Okay, how fast? 6. I completely lost my thread. Completely lost my thread. What was I going to say? Okay. Yeah. Let's just start off. Right. I've got Brenton up. A little bit worried about it, to be honest. 2 or 3 things. In the morning report, as mentioned, did say the inventories were slightly higher, which means a lower cost. The Russians looks like they might be producing a bit more, which could add a bit to it. But I'm a little bit more worried about the strength of the dollar. Remember, oil is measured in dollars, and apart from America, and I think it's Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, you know, those are 2 dollar-using countries. The rest obviously got to pay with their own currency. The stronger dollar means you're going to pay more for oil. So, well, like anybody, if you put the price up from 20 rand to 25 rand, cut back in your journeys. Some common sense, isn't it, really? So I'm a little bit worried about the follow-through on it. But a nice trade in 80.50. So just be aware of it. So anybody in that trade should have hopefully modified their stop to protect. It came down below 82. It was going to come right the way back. It seems to be holding, but I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit nervous of it. Nothing to do with the trade idea or the technicals or anything like that. It's just the dollar strength could have a little bit. The other 2 I mentioned, but my primary dollar strength, it might have a bit of a negative effect. So I don't want to lose on this trade. So maybe modify to protect. Don't get it too close. Normal story. And let's see if it can rise up a bit more. Just bear that in mind. Okay. All right. Just mention that on the buy. The gold one seems to be doing okay. We got it at 32. Some got in at 45 originally. And yeah, that's doing quite nicely. Back in the breakthrough 1810, I think that could come about with the rising dollar. I just want to quickly go over to the yields, just a second. Just go to the yields now. Yeah, that's nearly 4%. Tried to attack it earlier on this morning. Was it Friday rather? And it came off a bit, but it's having another bash. So it's 3.94%. Remember, the higher the yield, the more negative effect on gold. The higher the dollar, more negative effect on gold. So I think at one stage I was a bit nervous to break 1810, but looks like it might actually get to the target of 1800. So that's looking pretty good. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there we are. Now I've got a couple of trades out. With a stronger dollar, I thought we might get some downside on this one here. Well, a couple we'll go through now. AUD, NZD, AUD, USD. I think trade sent out just about 6, 7, gone up a couple of pips, but that's the noise. You can't pick that. I want to make sure everybody realizes that. Enter at 67.5, it goes up 5. Don't panic should they go long. Nothing to do with it. You're not going to pick highs or lows. It's going to do its noise thing. So you've got to look at the overall picture. It seems to be holding below this level here, as you can see from a sell perspective. And the dollar is going up, which should in theory help the dollar strength, which means it's selling the Aussie. So there could be some downside here. So yeah, you should have received the signal. I asked them at the morning meeting to try and push it when the signal sent out, not like 2-3 hours time, because sometimes the ship was sailed in that time. So hopefully you received it. There's 2 being sent out, one for everybody, and the second one was sent out to the VIP group, bearing in mind anybody here can do it. But bearing in mind, if you haven't got the funds, don't try. You don't overexpose. That's very important. I don't care whether you're here or where or whatever. If you've got a grand in your account, you can't go for both trades. You don't have money. If you do, but then you're overexposed. You're risking margin call. Okay. Anybody not know what margin call is? On Friday, the guy with about 150 his account screaming, shouting at me because we closed his position nowhere near his stop loss. So I explained, you have the margin call. The margin deposit's collateral like any loan. Oh, no. Other brokers don't do that. I'm taking the money elsewhere. And, you know, don't be rude to the guy, but no broker, no company is going to lend you money with no collateral. You know, and if you're so underfunded, which is ridiculously underfunded, you know, you're going to get margin calls, you know. And yeah, so I hope everybody here understands it. If anyone doesn't know what a margin call is, please let me know and I'll explain. Thank you, Fiona. Thanks for the update. Yeah. Thanks, Anna Marie. Yeah, good. So that's fine. So yeah, but if anyone knows, please, I beg you, just tell me, because I don't want you come back screaming, shouting because your position was closed when it was nowhere near stop loss, and then say, well, and somebody explains the margin call and say, what's that? We have an opportunity to find out. So if you do know, it doesn't matter. If you don't know, please, you need to know. It's very important. You can't be a bloody, you've got to know these things, you know. Otherwise, it's going to come back and bite. I assume you do that. So some guys, usually the guys are a bit shy or scared to ask or to know. And then they try and find other methods, and then sometimes it's too late, it comes back and bites. You will not, if the collateral or free margin runs out, hit 80% margin level, you will be margin called. And they won't, you won't choose them while it's closed, they will, and then continue margin calling till the free margin goes back into positive. So just be careful where you enter. So one, if you've got less than about 1,500, you can't go for both. Even if you're here, you won't receive both. But if you're yeah, okay, just bear that in mind. You check. Yeah. Okay. Right. This one as well has popped up a little bit. I think this one was sent out to the VIP group. Not one's better than the other one. We both think they're all right. We send them out. Just the smaller amounts can't have it. I haven't got enough money. Bottom line, it's the way it is. You know? Why can't I do that? Because you haven't got enough fun. Okay. least you learn from it. I don't think some guys are. Now, quite vociferous in this trading, an honest perspective. You go with nothing, get nothing. Don't go with nothing, expect something. So that's might happen, the dream parallel universe, but not the financial reality of life. And it will save some heartache and pain if one can grasp that point. Okay, nothing wrong with a bicycle, but don't expect to get the same speed as a motor car. That's where the problem comes in. Unless you're drugged up at Lance, I think that was his name, Lance Armstrong. Okay, so if you've got those trades, that's good. I need to go through them too much, see how they work out. It's another one I looked at, and they thought they might wait on it. So I want to discuss it with you. I think there's a possibility of this one as well. Morning, Mark. Nice to have you here. Some guys want to wait, a breakthrough there, or a better price, or whatever. It's got a possibility. Might be a little bit aggressive, but I think it's got a bit of a possibility, this one. Of a short, you know what I'm saying? Buying the dollar. We're buying the dollar because the dollar's quite strong at the moment. So it should be again. It's coming off a little bit, but still above 105. Bear that in mind. So look at that. Just give me a second. A little bit. I'll give you a G on that one. Set for a buy. Okay, so let's go back to daily. Yeah, let's see if we hold the moment. Maybe, I don't know, maybe wait for a breakthrough. Okay, there's a possibility of downside on that one. Should we leave that and come back to it? I think there's a good possibility of some downside on this one. It's risen up a bit. I think this, I'm prepared to say, even started a bit aggressive. I think there's a good chance of this one coming off. Anyone want to go for it now, or do you want to wait? It's your decision. I'm just saying. Wait. Are we going along with that one? Wait and come back to it. Okay, we'll wait and come back to it. Okay, sure. Good enough. Thanks for the response. That's what we want on it. Go and wait half an hour for a response, and we miss another trade. Brilliant. Thank you. We're on it this morning. Like sun shining. Brilliant. Okay, do this one first. ADCHF. Looked at them. I didn't see something there, but you might have found something I didn't. I think it was for a buy. I've got down for a buy. I agree. ADCHF. I've got it down for top. I haven't got it down for it at all. Actually, I've got it down at all. Okay, you want to buy it. Okay, probably want to take it up here. 40 pips. Take it here. 50. Take it here to decent TP. On the daily, you want to buy it. Okay, right. Maris wants to buy this one. Finally, what do you think my response would be to that? I'll just unmute you if you want to speak.
Thank you. Good morning, all.
Morning.
It's clearly in the sell zone, number one. looking at your Forex strength, the Australian dollar is the weakest at this point in time. So my personal response is to have a bigger probability to go down on the sell, although there is some noise and some resistance at approximately 1.63550.
Yeah, 6305, something like that, and a little bit up here maybe. Yeah, well, I agree with all of that. I'm looking here to sell it. I agree with all of that. And my only thing is a bit of resistance here. So let's look at the 4-hour, maybe get a better price to sell it. I'm with the sell. Start on the 4-hour, that's looking hopeful. If we get it to here, 63.33, about what's that? About another 15 pips above this. We're looking at the sell, by the way, not the buy. That's the spread. Actually, we won't get on that road. Yeah, anyway, so I'm looking to sell it around about there. But I'll be buying it there. I agree with that. Anyone agree with Morris or agree with Farney and myself? What do you think, guys? Or anyone want to go in now and buy it, or anyone go in now and sell it? This is where we need the discussion. Investment Steve, we're learning stuff. I'm getting the confidence to say, right. And they might have said, right, I've learned, but from somewhere else. And I love their indicators, and they're telling me it's an absolute buy. Share it with us. We can always tweak and learn. Yeah, I agree, but I've got that written down to chat with you later on, Tommy, to be honest. Got it written down. CHF JPY, GBP CAD, and the GBP CHF, and the GBP JPY, all looking at, and the GP USD. So looking at a few of them. Not that puzzled on the pound, but you can probably clearly see. But we'll stick with this one at the moment. Right, any comments on that? Morris wants to buy at market. I want to sell higher up. Anyone want to buy at lower down? But whatever. Anybody? Agree with both. Eh? Okay, so you're going to buy and sell it. There you are.
Roger, can you add the FIP, please?
The sell I can. Mint shop of this FIP. You can't use this. If you want to sell, you're going to use that to go down. Okay, push you can, you dick. I'm not rude to myself, don't panic. Come on. Insert objects, fib. Do you want to take it from here or higher up?
From there is great.
Okay. Well, 23.6 would be around about there. And if you get it around about this area here, to around 38.2. Nice, it fitting exactly, but there we are. Okay, Morris, fair comment. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so there we are. Keep an eye on it. I think it's got a possibility on the daily. Can't see squat there. So maybe we'll have a look at the daily one. Probably try this as very short term, maybe slightly longer term. No, it won't work. Well, that's a wrong attitude. Work it so it does work, yeah. Do a short term, stuck with it, stick with it. Objects. Fibonacci, retracement. There we are. On the daily, it needs to go on the 38.2, quite a long way away. 23.6 is only, like I mentioned, about 15 pips away. If you're going up there, we're talking 58 to 40. That's 80 to 50. That's 40. Yeah, you need to jump up about 40 pips to hit that 38.2 fib on the daily. So we'll definitely come back to that. But unfortunately, I'm agreeing. I'm possibly a bit short on that. And I agree with the Swiss franc thing being stronger. So yeah, sell in my opinion. Fumble ticks for that, but I want a better price. I think we'd agreed on that. Hey, Farney. So we'll move on. Okay. You mentioned GBP CHF. Let's have a look at that. take that off for now, because it seemed to jump from chart to chart, this thing. We'll put it back. GBP CHF. No, well, probably just as well we wait a little bit. I thought there might be a possibility of a bit of downside on this thing, yeah. But it seems to be popping up. Maybe be more prudent. Look at this, look at Friday's candle, very indecisive. And who is it? Somebody, I think Farah just said, pound still getting some strength. Not quite sure where from, to be honest. Don't know why. Fundamentally, I don't know where the hell it's getting from. Maybe some Machiavelli machinations. How about that one? On the actual currency side of the Chancellor's checker. But otherwise, anyway. But it's actually, more to think about it, it's gone up and tested. Hang on. Tested there. See that resistance or support? A bit there. I think we've got quite a bit of support. I'll put a line in there, see it a bit clearer. See, that's quite a bit. Should we narrow it down a little bit more? I can't see squat. Maybe try the weekly. A bit there, bit there, bit there. Going right back there. Yeah, not much there, but sort of nearly there. Going back to August, 6 months ago. Daily. Let's try the 4 hour. It's popped up. Any sellers coming in? Not at the moment. No, we're not getting sellers coming in. So we can't go it. We can, but suggest you don't go in now. I'm not getting confirmation. But we're not getting sellers coming in. But I think that's going to potentially come off. Again, I'm looking at the DXY on the screen. It's at 102.28, jumping around a bit. It's above 105. Dollar's quite dollar. That's a Swiss franc. The Swiss franc's still okay. Yeah, I don't know. I like the look of this one. I just want a confirmation. And get some maybe if you can get a little bit higher, right about these levels here, to start coming off. I'm not sure to get there. Well, how far is that? It's only 25 pips, so we'll have to stop up here. 60. We'll have to stop out of the way up there. There's something wrong to go back up there. So if he doesn't quite get there, comes off. I think we're going to sell a decent trade. I don't know why it would go up there, but then again, the market behaves very strangely at times, as we all know. But I think the probability is downside, strong potential. This one, I do like the trade. Somebody, Gerard, whoever suggested it, please remind me to come back maybe 10 or 15 minutes time. Even I'm waffling all about the bloody rugby, the cricket, or I don't know, whatever. Just remind me, it's starting to move up and coming off. This will be a good trade. Okay.
Roger, sorry, I'm still in a sell since the 22nd, and it's about currently 100 from that stop loss.
100 from your 100 pips. We're not talking about money now. Pips, because the rands means nothing. It depends on the account. So 100 pips from stop loss. Is that right? Where you are now?
Stop loss. That's correct. My stop loss there is 1.12687.
1.126. That's not 100 pips. That's only about what, 15 pips?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's about 15 pips. By the way, guys, don't mention money. It's meaningless. The guy, 100 rand on 1,000 accounts, 10%. 100 rand on 100 grand is like 1%. You get the idea. So pips away, pips away. So it's still within that range of that previous high. So hang on in there. I presume you're short. Hang on in there. I've got a strong chance. I think that's going to hold. I even think there might be some sellers creeping in as we speak. Thought so. I'm inclined to the short. So hang on in there. Don't modify your stop away. That makes things worse if it goes wrong. But I think I personally think, hold on, because I think it's going to come off.
No, it's fine because that was the signal from the 22nd of.
Yeah, I know. Most guys have stopped that, I think. I'm not sure.
No, I was luckily not.
Okay. All right. The pound did some funny things because it had, what was it, a PPI or something. There was a little bit above expected, and then the pound went berserk and jumped up about 200 pips. Remember, I moaned like a stuck bloody pig. I had a serious whinge on that one because it was a ridiculous overreaction. But what I think is irrelevant, what the market thinks is, and that's what happened. Right. So this is a potential. Before I do that, you're in a sell. Hold on. I see the downside. Some guys can come on in there. Is that right on Brexit? I don't think about it. I need an update on that. Before I do that, I just want to go to Pete, for instance. I'm going to buy Friday in profit as I get out. As I said before, Pete, I can't tell you get out. What happens I'm wrong? You go shooting up and you get out and you make 10 Rand profit. And if you'd ignored me, you made 100 Rand profit. You're not going to be very pleased. So all I can suggest is this is not, it is passing the buck, but you see the reason I'm passing the buck back to you is I personally believe in downside. Whether you get out or not, that is your choice, not mine. But I personally, you can either move your stock closer, but I see that is going to come off. I'm leaving even more to maybe the next few minutes at 10 to see what happens. Starts coming off selling now. We don't want to sell it when it's about 1, 1, 2, 20 or 30, and then we're missing out 20 pip potential. You see the possibility on that one coming off, yeah. But no, I don't say you should get out at all. I'm saying you make the decision that I think is a down, but I could be wrong. Okay. When it reached that, it can reach it, really doesn't. Another story. 1288. 1.12. Oh, so you're going up a bit. 1.12887. Yes, it could even do that. It could even do that. It could actually rise to that. But if we do go for it, our stop will be above that. And I think if it does get there, it'll hold. And those who didn't do it might get an even better one. Or you could even enter for a bit more if they can afford it. Yeah.
Sorry, Roger. I actually say report it as points and not pips. My stupid mistake. Sorry.
Gotcha. We all do it. I tell you what, it took me a long time to get to I'm glad they got it minimized. A lot of these like 1.1256 with a big 6 there. And it took me a long time not to think you're up 108 pips to find you're up about 10.8 pips or 11 to rounding up the decimal point and being highly disappointed. That's why I often used to like to pop over to the investing.com chart and keep that handy because that has 4 decimal places. It took a bit of practice and I'm reasonably good at arithmetic. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not doing being nice here. I mean this, extremely empathetic, I get it. But unfortunately, I asked them when we first got MT5, the UK guy, the big Zoom with us in Spain, I said, is there any way we can get that out? And he says, no, it defaults in the system because we've got so many brokers out there with a big international broker, big accounts, where the point does count. You know, if you've got a couple of million, you know, it counts. It doesn't count when you've got a few thousand. It's irrelevant, but percentage-wise, you see what I mean. So yeah, it's a lot better now if we practice and in front of the computer all the time. But it is frustrating. But I get you completely. Yeah. So I don't know if you bought, sell, or whatever, but yeah. The bottom line is I do see the sell there. Maybe wait for a bit of at least a 15 minutes, not a slightly longer confirmation. Not much confirmation is it? Okay, so we'll come back to that. Maybe CHF, put a little asterisk beside it to try and remind yourself. But that's not, don't leave me on my own, guys. You're going to keep an eye on as well to see something happen, just remind me. We're all in this together. As you say, we're a team, Farney. So if I miss something, you spot it, and so be it. Okay, the other one was a CHF JPY. I've missed somebody, remind me. CHF JPY is another one. I want to buy that. Is it coming back? Thank goodness it is. We can come back to around about these levels and put a little line down there. I want to buy this thing. Right about that area there. We can come back. I want to buy it. Okay, so keep an eye on that one. And the GBP, what else got down? GBP CAD. Going into the old GBP at the moment. I want to sell this as well. And remember, it's not the same, but it does seem to follow the dollar, the Canadian one that is. So if a bit of dollar strength comes in, sure the Canadian might follow. So there's potential if we can get a better price. Not now. I want to get a better price and near the 50-day to sell that down. It's been holding at this level now, so not now. It's another one I got to watch this as a possible one, and the other one's the Japanese yen. A potential sell on this one. Might want to get a slightly better price. Is quite a wide stop above this guy here, but there's plenty of downside. We take it down to here. So we can definitely get a risk reward, but we don't even get to get there. We do it to here. So I think there's a possibility of a downside on that one. Look at the weekly. Wait. 4 hourly. Wait. 1 hourly, and a 15-minute, yeah. So no, wait on that one. Might come in later on during the week. Right. Before we look at anything else, just want to look at the economic calendar. We got the core durable goods coming up this afternoon, up at 3 and 5 o'clock. Pending home sales, reasonably important. Not durable goods, reasonable. They actually are important. Not, you know, not the CPI job. They're reasonably important. So I'll just copy and paste for you guys. I'm sure that one of you still don't have that. Anyway, if you will not, it'll take 2 seconds. So you have no excuse then that you missed on the calendar. Well, you have, you might have forgotten it. That myself, I tell you, forgot completely. And then that's, at least you have it there. At least you're aware of it. Can't blame me.
Thank you for that, Roger. Just a question now that you posted the calendar. I went through it this morning and I can't find the NFP for Friday. Or am I stupid?
Oh, shit. Well, if it's not there and you can read, I doubt very much you're stupid. So if it's there and you can't read, I'm not stupid, but I think maybe you should take start learning how to read.
Maybe I need new glasses.
Or maybe new glasses. Now you got me worried here, mate. Oh shit! I hadn't even looked at that. First Friday of every month. Oh shit! I'm just going to post that head office.
Exactly.
Bloody hell! Just going to put that. Thank you. Just give me a moment to post that on the office. There's no point in sending out banners and blah, blah, blah. Thanks very much. I haven't even checked the week. I've just checked today. I'm going to check the week later on. That's my excuse. Thank you. Brilliant. Just checked.
So it's the same with you. You also don't need new glasses. It's true.
No, I know. Mine's slightly different. I can't read. No, but joking apart, it's definitely not that. Just before I post it, I'm just going to check. I'm just going to check next week. Where is it now? Next week. Next week, you're a bloody star. The only problem I'd have you, Farney, is you'll not get the accolade. I am, because I'm not going to tell him it was you. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's called host privilege. Just check the economic calendar. NFP is on Friday. Not this Friday. Yo, yo, yo. Wow, that would have caused me some embarrassment. Yo, I owe you. Send the bill in the post so I know I won't receive it. Okay.
I love single malt whiskey, sir.
Ah, single malt. Okay. I think I probably owe you that. Bloody mum of a second. Yo, yo, yo. It's all been sent out because they post on to the her name's Colette. She's a graphic designer. Get it all out there, costing money and time. And then I have to put my hand up. Well, actually, no, it's the following week. Whoa, talk about embarrassment. Sure. So anyway, going back to no glasses needed. No, okay. In fact, no glasses, but single malts needed instead. Don't drink too much or you will need your glass. You won't be seeing straight. Just as well, you just saved me from embarrassment. I'm glad you're a bit late. Yeah. Just made the assumption, first Friday every month. Good to check. Okay, well, there we are. Right. Yeah, we checked all those. So we've got 4 in the offing. The only one, GBP, was the most likely coming up, but it's not happening as yet, is it? Yeah, start to get. Please watch that for the next few minutes. That starts coming off, we might get something. Okay, we might. If it starts to take it out, we'll wait. Comes off from there. but it might then unfortunately stop you up far. But yeah, watch that. How far is it from there to there? It's only 25 pips, so we'll see what happens there. But this has got a good chance. Now, I just want to lost my thread on that. I just want to go back to the dollar again. Dollar's come up a little bit, not much jumping around. Just want to check those two trades. Oh God, they're giving us some jip here. We'll see the way. That's a fact of life, guys. When you go into something, you always go the opposite way. Often they come right, but it seems to be a habit of doing that. If you went long on this, you'd start coming off. Okay, NZD probably doing the same. Oh well, we'll see anyway. Oh, sorry, yeah. Hang on. You can see the years of performance and body forecasting. Yeah, well, just save that and look at it afterwards. Just save that, okay? And look at it afterwards. Just give me a moment. I want to come back to market share in a moment, actually. Just want to just save that. Saved it. Okay, right. Just want to come back to Mark. You mentioned something about Brexit. Thanks, Morris. Yeah. Any comments on Brexit? Because I haven't seen that. I'm going to be horribly honest here. I'm watching less the news these days, rather than trying to find stuff that's got value. Because the major news media, you know, the Sky News, the BBC, MSNBC, the CNN, the Fox, the rest of it, and now political narratives come entertainment channels. And as a result of it, there's not much factual stuff coming out. It's more rumor. So I'm wading through it and getting less and less, hang on a minute, sort of stuff. So because of that, occasionally you get some good stuff and I miss it. It's like you get all this junk email and you delete, and then you delete the good one amongst all the junk and then miss it. So yeah, anything on the Brexit? Because the Brexit, I haven't followed it, so I don't know. So any update on the Brexit, which might be called giving some pound strength on a fundamental basis, which I missed, please let me know.
Okay, sorry, sir, not sure, because I went with a cup of coffee in front of the TV, and then I see on Squawk Box, they just say that that PM of Britain met with Lagarde with regards to the Brexit and Northern Ireland. So I'm not sure what is the outcome. Or they're still busy with the talks.
Ah, now that's interesting. Northern Ireland is the one it's about. Now, let's go to trade and stop me immediately and go and look at it. Northern Ireland's been the big thorn in the side, really, for the people in Northern Ireland, because some want to join up with Southern Ireland and some want to remain with British Isles, UK, United Kingdom, should I say. Now, remember, they're talking about religion, one's Catholic, Protestant, it's like Rangers and Celtic in Scotland. I think most of them have forgotten the real reason behind the religion, that they're that religious anyway. It's more about nationalism and power and stuff like that. Now, my brother-in-law, he's Irish as in Southern Ireland. And he candidly said to me that from a Southern Irish perspective, they don't really care one way or the other, to be honest. They've got one of the strongest economies in the world, very high standard of living. They benefit incredibly from the Eurozone, and they've made use of it. They've given the opportunity, and instead of just take it and say it's a freebie, or here, I'm getting free money, I'll go on the dole job, they've made use of it, and they've done incredibly well. A lot of ITs there, Mark helped me on that one, etc. So whether Northern Ireland, part of them or not, they don't give the consent, or they're predominantly Catholic. Can you imagine this day and age talking about a denomination of some religion with all the science going on? Amazing, eh? It's all emotion. Anyway, so it's sort of fight in between. Now, the problem is the non-Catholic, the Protestant or whatever, I've been many times to Dublin, Northern Ireland, all right, not for a few years to be fair. And when I was in Northern Ireland about 20 odd years ago, it's about the only time when the pubs closed, the cinema closed, they actually stand up, in those days, the Queen, and sing the national anthem. I mean, in the UK, they start before they have to do that. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is, Northern Irish are probably more, shall we say, patriotic to stay with the United Kingdom, and obviously what do you call it? What do you call those guys again? What's the name again? You know, the troubles. The IRA. The IRA are keen to go back and become part of Ireland, and it's been a thorn in the side of the UK ever since. I've exactly parted the days of De Valera or whatever his name is. You know, those days. So that's just been a thorn. UK are quite happy to let it go. Remember that most of the money is actually in London and England, proportionally. In fact, there's more people in London than there's entire Scotland, Wales put together. You get the idea. So, you know, it's just to them, it's a political hot potato that's a no-win situation either way. So if that can be sorted out, it'd be great. And then you've got boundary problems and things like that. Like I got a British passport, a South African one, where before it was an EEC, but it doesn't make much difference. I can't just go and emigrate there. I've got to go and sign a couple of papers, but I can go there tomorrow without even just hold it up and just let me through. So bottom line is, I think there might be a step of getting this bloody thing off their backs from a UK point of view. So that'd be interesting, and that might actually help the matters, because it's become, sorry to the guys who like it, they're a nuisance. It's a bit like Gibraltar in Spain. The English in Gibraltar are quite happy to go to Spain. They like Spain. It was the time to go to Spain anyway. And the Spanish people don't like that little rock being part of the British. But the problem is Gibraltarians, all Spanish, they don't want to be part of Spain. They want to be part of England. So again, it's a political hot potato. So we get the same sort of principle. So it'll be interesting to see if that's been sorted out. Well, I think most will say hallelujah. Sinn Féin's on the IRA side. They, of course, want it, yeah. But the trouble is, they'd have given it over long ago. You know what I mean? The Brits, give on back the Irish. Most of the sudden, I don't want them. And most of the Northern Irish, who are non-Sinn Féin, don't want to go over. You don't understand that? So, yeah, it's not quite as straightforward as some of these songs simply put over a couple of minutes of chanting. Okay, so there we are. So we'll see how that works out. Thanks for the information there. See how that works out. I'll back and see. It's probably a lot more bureaucratic paper and jumping it down and in the comments and screaming, shouting. Here we go again. Anyway, let's move on. Gold. I still think there's some downside left. Don't say you join it now, but you're in. Obviously, you're in a profit. Protect your profit. Don't get your stop too close. Maybe get it 18.20 or something. I don't know. And then at least you made a profit. And I think there might be a chance this dollar continue to hold above 105 and the yields continue to hold. Might pop up and down. You know, the noise we talk about a lot before it goes up a little bit more. Sort of durable goods stay, and you're protecting one way or the other. You might get 1800 out of it. Financially can, but I'm trying to suggest you leave it for now. I won't be entering chasing it now. I'll get a decent risk reward, but I was having my doubts so it'll get to 1800, but depending it might. But if it doesn't, it bounces 1820, you made a profit anyway. So both sides are covered from where I'm sitting anyway. So yeah, but as a new trade now. If you're still in oil, WTI or Brent, some guys took WTI, but the signal on Brent. We don't sit on both because we don't understand. They jump in two, so they've got two oil positions, which you don't want. Oh, it's bouncing up. What a pleasure. I'm getting worried about it. I think it might come off. But anyway, so you should still be in it. You should have modified stocks to protect you, so you're not going to, protect your profit. I hate to say not lose. If a problem comes, it shoots through, and you get slippage. You could lose. You know what I mean? If somebody finds an amazing glut, and then or suddenly the Saudis best known themselves. I know God knows why they do that. Shouldn't goodness knows why that's all about doing that. Would suddenly shoot down, bang, and then it would go through your stock and get a bit of slippage. But that's very unlikely. Doesn't happen once in a blue moon, so I won't panic on that. So in all intents and purposes, you get your stop up to protect you. I was getting a bit worried. I thought, hang on, never mind the technicals. I thought it might start coming with a stronger. It looks like give a bit of a recovery, which is good. If you chase it now, no. If you're in it, you've got a profit. Make sure you don't lose it. Modify, hold on to it. Okay. If you took profits, fair enough. Hope you took it higher up. It's back to pass through 83. You might be all right, who knows? But if you're not, just hold fine. Maybe adjust your stop a bit tighter. I don't know. It's hopping around at the moment. The noise is very difficult to guess at the moment. So I can't even begin to make a guess on that. It's pure market buy and sell, playing it out with the noise. Bottom line is the trade's okay. Make it stay that way. Okay. CR later, guys. Okay, Peter. Let's some CYA, CR. Okay. Goodies, good enough. All right. GBP-CHF, I've got to think about it. I don't want to miss it. Probably jumping too early. Well, good thing we waited, eh? Still marching up. Well, see, we'll get this high then we can set it. Might have stopped you out, unfortunately, for you. I can't help that. No, I think your stop is just above there, so you might be lucky. You might be lucky, I don't know. If it breaks this area here, it might get up there to sell it. Okay. NASDAQ, we're in those. Hold. And you should still, I think it's still in the NASDAQ. Yeah. Fine, I think you're still in it. Hold those. Tried to break through a couple of times this morning and on Friday, but it seems to be still hovering around the 12,000. If the DXY can stay above 105, yields can be okay. I think jump around a bit for another move down. Might get a bit of help either way or hindrance. I don't know which way it's going to go from the 3:30 durable goods and home sales. It might get, we can't predict that, but it seems to be hovering around the 12,000. But anyway, you're in. Some might have taken it. Don't chase it now. If you're still in, hold it. What a pity. You might get it back if you're not too scared to go and get a short if it gets back to that moving average. But wait for the confirmation. I don't like this. Dollar's coming off a bit. 105, we better hold. Okay, where are we? Yeah, so hold that. Don't enter now. Leave it alone. Don't buy it. So don't do squat. Just stay with the trade. Might be a little bit old, but who cares? If you're making profit, it doesn't matter if it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, as long as you're making good profit. Don't think, oh God, I've been there 6 years, I'll take it. Well, why would you do that? I've seen guys sitting for months, like in the PAM account, say, Mark, for months on a long on the NASDAQ, quite happily when it's falling off. So you can hold your shorts for your reds for long. Why not hold your blues for a long time? Okay, so bottom line is leave it for the moment. But if you're in, you're doing well. Stick with it. And the S&P should be the same story. Yeah, doing nicely. S&P is doing fine. Let it run. You got your stock. Let it run. It might get there. I think it's 38 the TP. It might even get there. Okay. Moved it up. What do you mean you moved your stop loss up? Up on what? You moved it up on the GBP-CHF, and you're I'm not quite sure what you mean there. I mean, you're long, short, which instrument? I'm just worried you might move it up on a short above your original one, which means you're increasing risk, not decreasing it. So what do you mean by moving a stop loss up? What instrument? Okay, and now you're going long or short on that instrument. Oh, the guys we both know. Is that the guy? I presume you mean that certain person. N, the first name ends in N. That's it. I saw someone, post on the Instagram. Yeah, the same guy. Yeah, I thought you meant him. Yeah, we posted an Instagram shot, I mean Instagram post. So you mean 25K in swap for your Nasdaq, but the profit was well worth it. Well, what do you think of that, Mark? Do you think that's what do you think of that? I'm pretty good at mental arithmetic, so I'm not going to say anything on that. What do you think of that? Yeah, that's how long you held it, but just do the maths. What sort of position do you need to take to pay 25K of interest? Swap fees and interest. You've got to have a really large position for a very long time. Remember, it's on a daily basis. Swap fees are might go up 0.5%, the interest rate, but usually about 6.5%. 6%. So, right, 6%. Now, let's say he's been in a year, which I'm pretty damn sure he hasn't, because what are you sticking a year for? It might have done, I don't know. In a year, 6%. So 6% of what was the balance, not position, the balance. So that's 15 sixes and nines. You call it 15 times. What's 15 times 25? 375,000 rand. So in other words, to get that kind of swap fees, he needed in the region, am I right? How could we probably share? 25,000. Let's, I think I got that wrong. It's gone up 250. Yeah, that's right. 375,000 rand would have been his balance. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I'll leave you to.
I've watched this guy quite a lot, you know, and followed him quite a bit as well. And he's very conservative from what I've noticed. He talks about when you trade in the Nasdaq, he'll only do a position of about 0.01 per 15,000 rand. And in fact, sometimes he prefers a balance of 50,000 to open a single position on the Nasdaq. So he's incredibly conservative. So from what I gathered, he was talking like he held that position for a long time.
Well,
that's what I was trying to say. Was what you were saying. Doesn't matter how long you hold it for. If you're in the profit, you keep the profit.
Well, I could agree more on that basis. I just wanted the figures there, because if you do the math, I've just done that in my head. It's 375,000 rand balance. So you get a 375,000 rand balance. You're going to have to go a little bit better than 15, 20 grand. So the bottom line is, I see a lot of figures bandied around, and if you do the maths on them, they don't add up. I'm not saying he didn't hold it for 2 years. It doesn't say he didn't make a profit. But if he's saying 50, 20, 30 grand, well, to get that kind of swap fees, no, you're not going to pay that kind of interest on 50 grand. It's only about 6.5%. It's impossible. So I'm not saying he didn't make a profit. I don't know the facts. I'm not going to shove my name out there on the recorded line and get defamed. But what I'm basically saying is the maths don't add up. And I'm saying is we don't know who the person is. We're not talking about that. Blah, 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 blah. I have my... And when I see something on Instagram, some might be good, but 90%, anything to do with trading, I see on Instagram, usually results in me having a bit of a giggle. It's usually, most of it's BS, to be honest.
Most of what I've picked up is demo accounts. Most of those guys.
And it's demo.
Majority.
Oh, yeah, demo.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact this particular gentleman, most of the time, was posting all sorts of stuff. And I know for a fact they were demos, weren't they?
Really? On his account?
I don't want to go into more details, but yes.
Holy shit. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll see if I can find it anyway, and I'll send it to you over WhatsApp. You can just vet it for me. Check it out.
Stuff we had here was, I don't know what I can't speak on that.
Yeah.
Mostly it's on Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Occasionally is, but more likely it's real is when it's fairly small figures. Big figures, the guys with big figures on real accounts don't post on Instagram, trust me, they do not. Most of the guys post on Instagram is either demos, big figures, or new guys, smaller, that had a bit of a decent run, getting quite excited, etc. But the real McCoy won't be doing that.
Yeah. Cool, thanks, Roger.
Okay.
Roger.
Yeah.
The Dow Micro, it hit my stop loss, and I assume the other traders as well who took it. Can we re-enter?
No.
Any suggestions?
I think you had a stop loss pretty close on the micro if you did it, because it was, we entered it, the original one was about 4,144 if I remember rightly. And no harm in modifying your stop. If you were stopped out, maybe you stopped out on Friday, got to 33135, and that was still 1,000 pips in profit. So clearly you must have modified it fairly close. When you got that kind of gravy, meat on the bone, sorry, you shouldn't have had the stop to it. But anyway, I'm just saying future going forward. But anyway, nevertheless, you did do that. To go back in again, if we get back up here, yes, you can. At the moment, it's nowhere around. When you come off of that amount, which is 1,000 pips, you might get a little bit of a bounce, profit-taking bounce, if nothing else, before moving it down. To go in on the micro again, the stop up was 384 pips. With a TP down of 490 is not worth it. Do I see that coming about? I've given many fundamental reasons why I think that is the case, but I think you can sell it at a better price. So I don't think, millionaire in BS probably. Then it's another story. But no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be going in now. Sell the rally, but not right now. I sent out my weekly. I think it might be posted to you guys. I don't know. I do a weekly snippet analysis on the gold, the oil, and the Nasdaq. I usually do it on a Saturday, sometimes a Sunday, and then send to the head office Monday morning first thing. They put up with it, and they put a bit of chit chat with it, and make it nice and pretty, and then they send it out. So I think post Instagram, Facebook, and it's sent. I'll copy and paste onto the group. But my stage was to say that no new trades now on that one, but sell the ride is still the name of the game. Okay. All right. Okay, Fiona, I'm still, I think we're getting stuck and caught up here with the, thanks, Ronnie, the jargon here. 1.12 long. You still got the GBP CHF. So the GBP, you're long on the GBP CHF at the moment. You're in a, let's just get it correct so I don't make incorrect suppositions. Mr. Merchant Navy used to say that. Do make decisions on scanty information. So if you're long on it and your stop is at 1.129, that can't be. So you must be short on it. Okay, so if you're short on it, your stop is 1.129. Why would you want to increase your stop loss to a higher level? That means you're increasing the risk. I want to say it, Leo. I want to say it. Yeah, coming back to that. So you say, right, you heard that finance got stopped out. I'll bet you, the disciplined guy though he is, he must have been tempted. You'll talk about shorting it to raise it. I got a good idea. It could all be wrong, and he worked out his volumes on their stop loss being a certain level. You start raising away from entry, all that calculations goes down the spout, go down the loo. You know what I mean? You were risking 100, now you're risking 150. So there's no point in the calculation in the first place. I'll just press the button like most people do. So you got to say, right, I'll take it, and then it comes off. It happens to us, best of us, knowing though it is. And we've all done it ourselves, to be honest. But I can't advise you make a practice of it. So you're talking about moving it. I'm saying you got your stop. You can always enter again, but don't play cute with it. And there's a very good psychological reason for that. Once you do, and it works out for you, that is about the worst thing can happen. You say, oh, well, what's the point? I've seen so many times, I'm not exaggerating. Once you've done that, you'll do it again and again. Soon it comes out, well, it came right last time, and you'll remember the one time it came right for you, and you'll make a habit of doing it every time, because in your mind, that's what you want. And then in the end, that one time where you did actually come out in a profit instead of a loss, you put it all because the other ones, you blow your account. No, do not modify away. It is annoying when it hits the SM and comes off. Don't make a habit of doing that. Okay, because that's the biggest thing. Once you make a habit of doing it once, you make a habit of doing it. So once you do it once, you make a habit of doing it every bloody time, and then it will come back and bite. Then there's no point working out your volumes, your calculations. There's no point. Because every time it's going to hit your stop loss, you move it away. So now, every time you lose, you hold on to the red for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and you take your blues, you go small on your blues. That is the way to the poorhouse. Absolutely. Not just mathematically, but psychologically. So don't make a habit of it. You've got to somehow get over this fact that you're going to take a loss. You're going to fall off that horse if you want to be a horse rider at some stage. Fall off that motorbike, or you're going to ding your car or whatever. It's going to happen to you. Definitely. 100%. Not allowed to say the word guarantee, but the probability is so high. Second. Hello? Hello, sorry, I'm in the trading room right at the moment. Can you call me back later? What's it about quickly? No, don't call me later. Who are you? I want to know what's about quickly. Who are you? It's not an unsolicited call, is it? Oh, no, not for me, actually. Thank you. No. It's not an unsolicited call. Obviously, didn't know what that meant. So I'm calling Discovery. Yeah. So I thought it was illegal now to do these. Anyway, never mind. Okay, right. So yeah, we'll get back to stop loss. So try not to get in the habit of it. When you're experienced, you know what you're doing, you're disciplined, or hang on, maybe the stop loss are maybe 5 pips too tight, maybe I'll risk another 10 pips, 15 max, because I see there's a couple of new things coming in here, blah, blah, blah. I might, but that's thought out and you're aware of it. But you guys get a habit of doing it. Nothing to do with strategy, nothing to do with rationality. It's just fear of taking loss. So it's going to be a green, and in the end, it increases. So that's very, very important. You can't overestimate how big a part psychology and fear those emotions play in trading. Far more than how good you passed. You got 95% passing your exam and whatever you had to learn. Can't get the psychology sorted out, won't help you. You've got to get this understanding of the mentality. Very, very important. Or if you're not in the short term, would you consider long position on gold? No. Simple as that. No. Let's look at this a bit clearer on the daily. This is now 10 hours old. We've got it in cozy, popped up, sellers come in. We've also got above 105 the DXY. Remember, most of last week was below 104, 103 something or other. The yields, let's check the yields quickly. Yep, the yields are still holding near the 4% mark. So that's negative for gold. There's some profit-taking noise. Why would you buy it? It's complete fear. It is absolutely the number one. I don't care if you're a neurosurgeon or a road sweeper. That is one thing you got in common. Is that the emotional fear. It's in all of us. Whatever you're, whether an aristocrat or an untouchable, as the Indians have, in all of us. And that has got to be understood. I'm not sure you can control it to a certain extent, can't get rid of it, but at least you can understand it, because that is really what guides most people. That's why we're sold all this BS all the time, because intelligent people are pushed with this, and the people know this, but most advanced psychology behind it, knowing these sales pictures from the Instagram, the Facebook, and all that. They're just playing the emotion. They're playing you, basically. Be careful, understand that. It's a sales pitch. Democracy, everything's a sales pitch. Everything is a result on that emotional high I'm hitting you with. I would like to, they're putting out selling properties from 999,000 till you get there. It's a micro, not even a studio or bachelor. But the one you like is ONF2, but it's still a good one that got you there. And then it's called, what you call it? Bait and shift. Bait and shift. It got you there, but anyway, it's still pretty good. Look, we've got here, and you end up buying the 2-bedroom one for 1.8 or whatever. Yeah, it's just it's emotion. Just be aware of it. You can't control it. Okay. GBP CSL I do as well. The fib, yeah, we can fib on some. Let's get the fib on the GBP JBY. We looked at a couple of moments ago. I think we did. Yeah, we did. I'm looking for sell it. We're getting a decent one. So rule number one, no stranger's going to do you any bloody big favors unless they want something in return. Something for nothing, get rid of it. That is without doubt the number one way it catches, shall we say, the less worldly people. But still think they can put nothing and get something out. And in the end, they're going to get upset. Like the guy screamed 150 his account, wonder why his margin. Couldn't understand it. Because he's trying to give nothing and take a lot. That mentality, the scrounging mentality, the something for nothing will knock you. Nobody, you wouldn't give something for nothing. Why should they? Really remember that, and you'd get and see through the BX easier. Right, GJPY, a bit of a fib, it's a bit of a short-term fib, you try it. If you're looking for a short, you take it from the top down. If you're looking for a long, it's the other way around. Might get it better on a 4, actually, see a bit clearer. Okay, maybe. I usually use the wick. Some people use the, yeah. Some people use the shift up across. No, I can't. Well, try again then. Slightly better. There we are. Okay, yeah, so that doesn't really help our cause. Unfortunately, I didn't quite know, maybe the IT guy put a 76.4 in, which is the next one about 61.8. Okay. which might be there. 26.4, so it's about there, yeah. Going to work here actually. Yeah, somewhere around about that level, no, a little bit higher, probably around about there. Okay, anyway, maybe I'm trying to put thing anyway. But yeah, bottom line, that's not helping you the fib. Okay, so if you want to do a fib, you go to the fib, you take some previous high or high there, and you must use the candle, not today's. You never use today's because you don't know where it's going to finish. It's still a work in progress. You use the previous one or one that fits. This is the one that fits. If you're going long, if you want to go long, we'll take it from there to there. So you do the same thing. This thing work yet? No, I don't know why that is. Okay, and you go there, Fibonacci, go for a trace. Don't worry about the others. Do it from there to there. And then came back to 38.2 for a bounce, plus minus. Okay, so there to there for a long, if you expect to go long, there, the top to the down, expect to go short. So that's clear. Again, it's all taught in classes. If you want to go more detail, you can put any you like. If you're longer term, you can do that's about the same as that. If you want to do longer term, you can do that. You can do a weekly. Depends which one you're shorter term or longer term. You can do a weekly one if you want. Let's say you're a longer term player. You go the weekly, and you might just get rid of all this noise here. Can't even see a bloody thing here. You might want to take it from there to there, for instance, give you all sorts of interesting figures. You get the idea. So whichever, we can take it from there to there. Try that one if you like. You've got to pick what you want, short or long term. Low or, sorry. Take it from here to here. There you are, Kevin 618 there. There to there, or you can do whatever. Or there to there, be more accurate probably. There to there or there to there. Something like that. Longer term. Yeah, that sort of thing. Okay. You got that, okay, good stuff. So that came nice on the film. See? Came down, bounce on the film there well. Okay. Right, GBP JPY is looking at a long at the moment on the weekly, so I won't be shorting it right now. It's looking more like a short on the daily, but the weekly is putting me off, so I'm leaving it for now. Okay. EUR/AUD for short. Right, let's have a look. Where's the date? There's a 200. There we are. But you can see from here, here, and here, and here. That's K in the buy area, number one. Okay. Number two, it's broken through these previous highs here, and it's come back and tested it on the daily, not the weekly, the daily. Okay, we'll go to the weekly. It's more it's the upper end of the neutral zone, but it's higher than 3 below that one. Again, on the weekly, it's could head above, come back again. On the 4 hourly, it's coming off a bit. How far can it come off to? Let's have a look on the daily again. It's coming off a little bit to maybe these areas here for maybe a bounce. Putting that together, this could be, you know what normally happens? You break through the ceiling. Look at the ceiling above where you're sitting. It breaks through the ceiling, that's resistance, goes through, comes back and tests that ceiling and goes back up again. So it's broken through that ceiling with resistance, you're going along by the way, goes above it, comes back and tests it. That was a resistance, now it is support. The support of that ceiling is holding, it starts moving up, then you would buy it. So this looks like it's setting itself up for a buy. Okay, this level here on the 1 hour holds, that could be a buy. Do we say that could be a buy? Do we go in now? No, we just need a bit of confirmation of the bounce. Is it going to break back down from the ceiling above you into the room you're in at the moment, or is that ceiling going to hold? We don't know yet. I hope I'm not saying it too complicated yet. So yeah, so it's got to really hold that. This is the floor here. There's your ceiling there. It's broken up. It's coming down. Test. It's only a 1 hour. I'm using the day to remember. If this ceiling's going to hold, bounces, we'll buy it. If it doesn't hold, it breaks through, then we can confirm it might come down. Then we'd maybe sell it, but I'm a bit nervous. I might wait for here or here to buy it because it's still in a very strong range at the moment, the euro. Now, why is the euro suddenly strong? It used to be a weak one, mainly because Lagarde has become very hawkish in the last few months, which is building some strength on the euro. And they're getting a bit of result on inflation reduction as a result of that hawkish stance. So it's likely to be maintained. So the euro is quite strong at the moment. So it's holding the round figure, the psychological round figure 1.57. So there's a chance we might get a bounce here. So I would go in now, look for confirmation, but I'm leaning to the long on that one. That's my opinion. Now, I'd like to hear your eyes because I like it when somebody's a short and I have a long, because now we can come out like a debate, a discussion. And those sort of areas where we learn just all follow into the abyss. Then the abyss will come back and stare at you. I think it was Nishka said something like that. So we want to actually have these discussions where we can get different thought patterns on it. So that was my take on it. I might be wrong, whether I've been doing it 10 years, 5 minutes, or 5 years, 50 years, I don't know. That's my take. What do you think? Do you see the short from here? Would 10B3 the short? What do you guys think? Whether you agree or not, as long as you're thinking, that's the main thing. It's another one of my things. Most of the world problem comes to people don't think, and they get themselves into trouble because of it. Ken likes the buy. Anybody like the short on this one? Ken and I are pumping for a buy on confirmation. 1570. Actually, looking more, it might be a good trade to come in for a buy, but we'll come to that in a minute. Come on, guys. You've been here long enough. Some of the guys here, I'm not Farney and Anne-Marie. I'm talking guys been here a week or two, 3 weeks maybe. You've got some opinions there. What do you reckon? I need to run. Okay. See you this afternoon, Connie. It's on movement phase. Not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry. Staying still phase is not what you want. Okay. All right. Now put it this way. Anyone want to short it? There we are. Anyone want to short it? And if they do, please let me know why. Not so I'd like to. Why is that? Oh, it looks a bit high at the moment. No. You know, why would you want to short it? Why? You know, you get the idea. It's got to be backed up by a reason. This is when we know we're learning. It's got to be a stage where I'm going to post a signal out, buy the, I don't know, USD CAD. And you're going to think, well, let's have a look at this before I go in. No, I don't agree with that. And you're not going to go in. Not, oh, well, I've got the signal, says go in, it's going wrong. I'm blaming the company. I don't want to be nasty here. I mean, if you can't control your own financial life, don't expect me to do it for you. I can assist you, but it's your money, not mine. You need to know why. In fact, a better idea. I've got this great Ponzi scheme. Give me 500 rand a month. You'll make millions, honest. Send me your name and the number, and you'll be right up my alley because you're jumping without thinking. See my point? It's not being nasty, but I'm trying to get this thing. If you have to watch margins, that's a very good reason to go on either side, yeah. But you're quite right. At least you're learning about the margin, which more people must keep free margin. Now, you don't go shopping with an empty credit card and empty pocket, do you? Same thing with here. I'm all right. I think there's more lean towards the buy on this one, and even Mark agrees. Not even Mark, Mark's a bit experienced guy, but I mean, as well as Mark agrees on that. So 1570. I think we've got ourselves a buy, guys. How far up is it? We're on the 1 hour. Where can we take this to?
Roger, if you zoom out on the 4 hour as well, you'll see that there's a lot of resistance at around 1.57212 up to 1.57311 thereabouts. It's like a zone there. And there's a lot of resistance in that area. So if it breaks through that, In fact, you can see it's actually tracing from the night. If you zoom out even more and you go back to beginning of January, you'll see the amount of noise there and resistance there.
Got a point there.
Yeah,
Trouble is, that's not very much. There's not enough meat in the bone.
correct. Yeah, so I think if it breaks through that, we could go almost up that previous high, that wick.
Totally agree. Because look at this. Let's say it gets there. You get a target there. That's 50 pips.
Yeah,
I like at least a 40 pip stop. You're wasting your time. Let's just scramble in again so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to stick with the buy. I think most of Sorry Tembo agree with the buy. So if it breaks down here somewhere and it holds and breaks up again, then we're going to stop down there. We've got plenty of upside. So this one's got to break above here or a pullback maybe to here. Then we can definitely aim at it. And even that we're going to battle. Even here we're going to battle. So yeah, the target on the daily, even zoom right out. Was it right out or right in? It's the wrong way around. Every single time we want that's zooming out. Yeah, even if you zoom right into it, it's not enough meat. I'll leave this alone. Yeah, made my mind.
Correct. Yeah. The previous highs are all the way back in December, which I mean is quite a while ago.
Not half. It's 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. Yeah. So yeah, no, that is certainly that screamed at me. Leave alone. Quite right. Thanks for that. Okay, well, leave that alone then, guys. Move on. Nico, I'm not quite sure when you say a safe trade. What is a safe trade? The safest trade, funny enough, all things have come out in the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, or even longer, I know, was funny enough, the micro, not the normal, the micro NASDAQ short at 12.7. That to me was about the safest trade could come up with. I even mentioned that in the strategy room, our own one. I said, this is a close to no-brainer I've come across in many, many, many years or whatever. But most I don't see the same is the same sort of bed as the leverage trading, but I take your point. Pretty awkward. I tend to agree with you. Yeah, I didn't want it earlier on, so I looked at the daily. I thought maybe the ship would sell. My problem with this one is 100 pips. Where are you going to put the stop? You might squeeze it. If you put the stop there, I think you might squeeze it. Yeah. But my problem is, again, you look at the hourly one, it seems to be range trading on the hourly around the sort of level here, 20 pips. But it's the top of the range at the moment. Looks like some sellers are coming in. What's the DXY doing? To be honest, I like this. VO, yeah, I like this. I have to be honest. Yeah, it's holding. See some buyers coming with DXY. Give me a second. I'll check on. Remember, I got to minimize like you should have. Is the DXY and I've got the yields as well and the economic calendar, and that's holding. It's back above 3.9, which is strong for the dollar. I'm actually, I was waiting for a better price. I'm starting to like it. Let's go a bit more here. I want to talk myself into it. That's why I need you guys. Keep your feet in the ground. I'm starting to like it a lot more than I did a couple of hours ago. And it's to the top of the range. I like it. Made my mind up. Puff. Oh, hang on, weekly. Yeah, that's good enough. That's a long way away ahead. That's plenty long way away. I like it. Top of the range on the 1 hourly. I like it, guys. I have to say, I like it. What do you think, guys? Vio's idea. Sell euro dollar. Frantically looking at it, making their mind up. Calculator. Guy called Siabonga Humble. That's a good name for a guy who wants to trade. Humility, humble. What am I doing? Okay, sorry. Yeah, just squeeze it in. I'll be honest, I like this. You see a buy. You see the thing is you're buying the euro. You're thinking the fundamentals are much stronger than the dollar. The dollar at the moment is looking pretty strong. The dollar index is remember Nico. I keep forgetting to look it up, but I do know for a fact. I think it's at least 50%, or I think slightly higher, of the 6 currencies in the dollar index is weighted to the euro. So the fact that dollar's going up, it means the euro is going to be weakening. You know what I'm saying? Because out of those 6 currencies, the biggest weighted is the euro. So if the euro was a strong one, the dollar shouldn't have risen so much. So no, the dollar index is telling me at the moment, anyway, unless things radically change, the fundamental or whatever, it's the market for you. That at the moment is some downside. But that's it. I'm not saying I'm just giving my opinion. You know, it's like having a defense and a prosecuting attorney. You've both got your points. I'm prosecuting a short, you're defending a long. But I have to say, I do quite like that. I see downside there. Look at the 1 hour again. Seem to be holding. Okay, anybody like this one as a sell? If you don't, say so. If you do, a couple of people do, we'll put it down. I'll turn to a couple who want to buy it here, I'll put that down and we'll put them both down, see how they work out. But it's got to be real money, not just because it's fun or demos. It's got to be real money on it. Okay, well, it seems to be not a lot of excitement on this, although I have to be on your side there, Vuyo. I'm afraid I like it. So Vuyo likes it. Anybody else like it? Or should we move on and see what happens later on? Gerard likes it, but you got support there. So put it down. Uh, 120 for micro. Good enough. I'll put the video just so we know where it is. Okay, so that's it. We'll see how that goes. Okay, we'll leave that for the moment. We'll try to revisit a couple of them. Any getting any decency coming out of these guys? Not much at the moment. Any pulling back on these guys? Yeah, try to pop up, but see we're trying to break down, so they might come right. We'll see. The other one's a DUSD. It's unfortunately looking a little bit at the moment, but let's see. It has to try to come off. It might pull itself further down on the 15-minute, by the way. Before we close up, by the way, I nearly forgot. Anybody still in any of those shares? We don't spend hours and hours talking about specific instruments, you know, modify your stop loss, blah, 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 if you're all out of them. So the Meta, the Microsoft, the Baba, the HPQ, are guys still in that one, or you all out? You should still be in the Meta because we only had another one going in on Friday. Or was it Thursday? Only Meta survived. You should be in that one's a new one. Anybody? Are you all out of the? I think the pity about the Hewlett Packard. I think you should have been a bit longer. I still see some more downside. Well, I might be wrong anyway. So all out. Okay, so it's pointless me going on about them. So we did okay on the Microsoft, Baba, and the Hewlett Packard. You should have all at least broke even and made money. I know I should have broken. You should have made money. You must have stopped too close, panicked or something. But you should have all made money on those. If you didn't make money on the Microsoft, then you're doing something wrong because that was a beaut. That was an absolute beaut. Keep saying GHQ, HQP. If I say GHQ, I mean did okay, and Baba did. We all did okay, but particularly Microsoft. If anyone broke even or lost on that one, I don't know what they did. Didn't do something strange because they were good ones. Okay, just the Meta, right? So I'm quickly have a check of it. Where I did that. Well, hey, I got bloody held up quite nice in the end. We got to 173. Check again. We got in again on Meta, if you remember. I think it's one. Where is it now? I didn't write it down. Find it. Because we had one at 172. I think some guys got out. I think it was fine. He said he got out. He's not here at the moment. He's had to leave. And then I think went in again around about the 173 mark. But whether you're on 173 or what you went in on, you should be doing just fine. It's now $3 or $4 in profit per share. So that's fine. Unless I got this wrong. No, that's all the information there. So that's doing nicely there to ended it. So yeah, I know it's a sell, yeah, but I'm trying to find the price of entry. I wouldn't be buying it, no, but you know. Okay, yeah, okay, so we'll just discuss that opening later on. Bit quiet on the now, so it might jump around even Steven, but at the moment we're in profit. It should be in the region of around about the $2 or $3 or more in profit. So fine. Good. 172.80. Thank you. 172.80. There we are. Just a reminder for later on. Good stuff. Nice one. So that's doing okay. Okay, we're going to wrap it up just now, Fiona. Thank you very much for attending. Gold still hovering 1810. I still see downside there. Is the Brent getting any movement up? I'm getting a bit nervous of it. Which is what I'm saying. What a pleasure being great. So that it might actually come right and hit the TP. But I'm just with that worry, like I mentioned, more than fundamentals, more than the mentioned about, you know, oil reserves increasing, but more about the dollar being slightly stronger. But it seems to be holding, breaks up. What a pleasure. Hope some guys are still in this. But just before you put about anybody still in this and with modified stops, you should be. If you're out, yeah, 1820 is fine, Mark. If you're out of it, you move your stop too quick. Or you got nervous. Good. That's too close. You put your TP at 82, it's too close. You should have, still you should be. Could well be. But taking profit too quick is a major problem. We're winning. We're winning. I've looked back at the trades over the last 3 months or so, and we're in just below 70% hit rate. Anyway, plus minus. And a lot of guys aren't making money on that. The reason is they're holding losses and taking the profit too quick. Modifying stop, getting scared, and then moving the stop away. Normal story. That's not our signals. That's not our. That's the biggest thing is the psychology. So I've got this course to sell on psychology. I think we do fucking better like that than tricks of the trading. That seems to be the one that comes back and smacks all the time. But yeah, it's a pity really. But anyway, that being said, if you've gone through to 81 and 80 and you're at 82, Mark, you'd have been very pleased, but it's like a pity. But anyway, it's doing well. Let's see if we can continue. Great. So keep your fingers crossed, AD, USD. Oh, and the pound dollar before we go. So if we like it, it might be sent out to the VIP group. Are we getting that one? It's not happening, is it? So I'll check if it is any better. I'll send out later. It's not happening at the moment. I want that euro dollar though. I have to say I like it too indeed. Okay, I might post it on this the trading support group, our group, not yours, and see if they like. You might be sent out anyway. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Anything before we finish off? 2.5 or 150. Some people got dollar accounts at 150, I think it is. 2.5. What is the reason, Nico? Let's cut the BS. That's the real reason. There's too many guys going in with don't get signals 500 and above. And it's pointed out that number one, obviously to try and encourage people to put more in to become a member of the VIP group, but from a practical point of view, if you send out 3 or 4 signals to guys, not that the lack of funds is the problem. Some people got very intelligent, lack of money, some are very stupid, lots of money. The major problem is they're trading blind around a clue. They don't tend to, well, I don't know whatever they do, but they just really don't have a clue. And they go into all of them. They're media overexposed, and they come back and said, you kicked me out. We get all this feedback every single day, and you say your margin call, and it's time consuming for me as a broker to try and assist you, trading room in all these areas, to spend it talking about what a bloody margin call is. As I say, it's like calling out a senior doctor to put a plaster on. But don't be rude, it's not my sodding job. I expect the guy to know that. And so you cannot handle those signals on small amounts. So the point is, if you got $1,000 or something like that, I'm going to be straightforward. It's not bingo, it's making up to reality. You got squat money and you're trying to attack $1 trillion international market with 60 American dollars. And they tip that, you get it. So the problem is not saying we'll put more money in, but you are incredibly limited in what you can do. I'm trading here with, 2 gigs a month data on my broken phone. Can I make a lot of money? Well, answer it yourself. Use some common sense. So the bottom line is you got more than 2.5 or a bit more money, roughly 10, 15, 20. You can diversify. You can go bigger positions. More to the point, you can take all of them. You can hold on for longer. You can't think, I better get out of this one to free up free mind for another one, because you're always chasing because you're undercapitalized. So that's the major reason behind it. You will get more signals. So I hope this clears the reason why. So it's minimum, but the point is, Nico, it's got to stay there, because I'll put you onto my WhatsApp group. You'll get daily updates. That'll continue. However, it's my signals, because I'm qualified to do it, so they have to come from me, will be posted on the trading support WhatsApp group of the office. It's then sent to the office, jazzed up, and sent out. And the guy who does it in the office, great guy, he can't give you something, he has to work on what I give. He will then each day check, and because obviously we'll check to see if he's got $2.5 or more. So today you put a minimum, because everyone wants to make the maximum, put in the minimum, puts in the minimum, right, 2.5, and then they go into something. If there might be still low position, but the balance drops below that, they won't get that signal. So you've got to maintain the balance above that. Okay, does that make sense? So you keep the balance above it. So if it is above today, when he does the filter tomorrow and it drops below, you won't get the signal. Or you get the 500 one, but you won't get the extra ones. Does that make sense? As long as we're getting this, because it's driving me spare, the basics are understood. How can you tackle a highly complex, sophisticated international market if you can't even get the basic arithmetic? And it's frustrating, because the concrete guarantee they're going to slide off the bloody cliff. You know what I mean? You don't have years of experience. It's just basic understanding of the thinking, you know? And I tell you where it all comes from. It's all psychology. What do you want to make? $100 a month. What do you want to put in the minimum? That is a total, utter, complete contradiction in terms. It's like, I want to go out with a film star, but I'm ugly, fat, and broke, and thick. Well, why would the film star want you? You know, it's all about want, not give. It's got to be balanced. And what did Zig Ziglar say? To get what you want, the best way to get what you want, help other people get what they want. You're so fixated on what you want. No, you know what I mean? You got to think, what am I giving to get? Okay, I don't know. It seems to be a mathematical equation beyond 90% of the human race, and I think that's why they get into trouble all the time. Work on that basis. I promise you, if it's any more complicated than that, it should get them benefit. Okay, I mean that to help you. Okay, all right. Thanks, Nico. Thank you. And that's also a very, very good point. Ken came out, and he's still there. Ken got that. He goes, well, I'll put a lot more money in. He gave a few months ago. He says, and he came with something a bit better than I'm putting it. He's basically saying the guy put more money usually end up in their ass. Because they put more money in, but you can't buy the market. You know, the clue what you're doing. You haven't got the strategy or anything like that. Instead of losing 100, you lose 1,000, 10,000, whatever you put in. You know, you've got to have the 3 things, like the fire triangle. You have to have the equipment, the knowledge, and the capital. Capital out the knowledge, you lose. Knowledge on the capital, you lose. Knowledge and capital with no instruments, without the internet and without the computer. State the effing obvious. It drives me insane. You can't see the obvious. You're going to lose. You've got to get those. We'll get the complicated stuff. If you're back to overcome the incredible, the obvious, you've got to start questioning it. You know, maybe it ain't for you. You know what I mean? Okay, you're getting it, Ken. You're getting it, guys. Oh, but this salesman told me before I do is put £5 and make 10 grand a month on my broken phone. Well, all right, yeah, okay. Yeah. Think. It's seriously upsetting because we can least afford it. I tripped me over myself because some BS I saw on Instagram, which makes the tech billionaires are fortunate you're expect. Okay, I don't know, keep going on about it. It's taking thing. Okay, right, it's 11 o'clock now. Capture this afternoon, and remember, non-farms is Friday week. Thank goodness for Farney. Oh, that was close because I probably would have checked later on today or tomorrow, but they can't for the whole week. I just checked today, so that will teach me. So we'll sort that out later. Thank you very much, guys, and catch you later. Cheers, hey. Bye.